What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another dino build, and today we are taking a look at none other than the giant fluffy chicken himself, the THERIZINOSAURUS. Now, these guys are going to be a little bit difficult today because they don't really have any particular builds, because, you know, you've got their harvesting levels, but we'll get into that later on down the line. For now, what we're going to do, if you don't know already, is with these builds, with these videos, we actually go through their stats, determine what you guys should level up on them, and what roles they can actually fill with the rest of your dinos. Now, you can see here, we've already put a point into this THERIZINOSAURUS. We actually put it into his health. His weight, actually. His weight was 594 beforehand. Now, these guys are spawned in at 150, which means they max out at a 225 level. Now, let's get into their abilities. Now, the THERIZINOSAURUS has 3 attacks. He's got his primary attack, which is like a claw, slash, and dash and attack. He's got a picking attack, which you can see there, we're picking through stuff. And then he's got a headbutt attack. Now, this headbutt attack, just quickly, actually deals torpor damage to any players riding small to medium-sized mounts. So, you know, if you're riding like a raptor, a dire bear, anything like that, the THERIZINOSAURUS can actually knock you off that mount with the headbutt attack. That does include wild ones as well, so do take that into mind as well. Now, as well as that, he also has an extra thing where you can actually pump harvesting levels on this guy. Now, you can see here you've got additional delicate harvesting and power harvesting. Now, power harvesting is harvesting with the claws. Delicate harvesting is attacking with the fingers. You can see they're using the fingers to get through stuff, and the headbutting attack to get extra berries. So there is that as well. Now, let's go through now. You can see here, this guy's got 71 levels. He's got a crazy amount of health, crazy amount of melee damage. The first role that we're going to go and talk about is the DPS role. Now, the THERIZINOSAURUS can deal extremely powerful amounts of damage to anything and everything that comes into its path. So for this particular build, you will want to pump up some points into health, because you can effectively use these guys to take on bosses if you don't have any Rexes. As well as that, they're just great for PvEing enemy dinos and just running around dealing crap tons of damage. Now, 15k health is plenty of health. If you want to keep going, keep going. Don't let that stop you. Easily take this guy up to 20k health. And then the rest, you pretty much just want to put into melee damage. Now, like I said, he does have 3 primary attacks. Sorry, not 3 primary attacks. He does have 3 attacks. His claw attack, his headbutting attack, and his picking attack. Now, believe it or not, this attack here actually does deal damage. Now, as well as that, another really unique thing with this guy is that not only does he get the extra benefits of having increased melee damage from pumping melee damage, you can also increase the harvesting levels and increase that more so. But you can see here, we're hitting 282 damage to these turtles. We were definitely not hitting that amount of damage beforehand, which is great. Now, like I said, this is going to be your PvE mount, so you won't really be harvesting all that much with this guy. You can if you so choose to. However, do take into note that if you do plan on going out and harvesting some wood, you would definitely over-encumber yourself very quickly. So do take that into mind as well. But you can see here, he's easily able to gather a crap ton of berries, crap ton of wood and thatch. You know, look at this forest. It's full of wood and thatch, and we can just power through and gather it all. But the main purpose of this role is to just dish out all the damage. It's crazy how powerful these guys can get, and you definitely want one of these guys on your side. Now, with this build, because you have leveled up the melee damage of the THERIZINOSAURUS, that can carry on to all his harvesting abilities, obviously. Now, one of the really unique abilities of the THERIZINOSAURUS is that he actually has a really high amount of oxygen. As well as that, paired with his high endurance, you can actually take this guy diving for deep sea. Granted, if you yourself have enough oxygen, or, you know, your oxygen tank or whatnot, you can take this guy deep sea diving and farm up raw prime fish meat and just go absolutely nuts. He also has a relatively good amount of swim speed in the water as well, which is great. Now, you can see here his oxygen level is at 540. It does drain at a relatively slow pace. However, like I said, you can actually increase his melee damage and go out and gather a crap ton of fish meat. Now, as well as this, if you increase his power harvesting levels, you can see here, we can increase his power harvesting levels. You can actually increase the amount of fish you get as well, effectively tripling how much you get off potential victims. Now, do take into mind that it will take a bit of time to level that up, obviously. As well as that, you will need to do it as he levels up. But you can see that we've just killed the Megalodon, and we got a crap ton of fish meat. Look at that. Now, if we were to go take up this fight against a Toothless, you'll actually find that we can get a crap ton of meat. However, like I said, you can use this build. It's not the best build. You can change out another build, which we will be showing you later on. But for now, this is definitely one of the best builds you can use to gather prime meat and regular fish meat as well. You can also take this mount and go deep sea diving for black pearls as well, which are a great way as well to get all your tech needs sated, because the THERIZINOSAURUS can harvest the black pearls from the undersea scorpions. I can't remember what they're called actually. I just forgot what they are. The Eutropids, that's what they're called. And you can harvest a crap ton from them as well. So this is just one of the many builds that we will be showing you through this video. Alrighty, so this next build is actually the underwater build that we just kind of showcased there. Now, with this build, you are going to want to pump up stamina. That is one of the main definite points you are going to need. Stamina and oxygen are going to be your two main ones that you will pump up with the THERIZINOSAURUS. Now, you can see that his oxygen, he gets quite a lot of oxygen. But with this build, you can actually take him deep sea diving. Now, you can choose to pump up health if you so choose to. It's real easy to get these guys up to 10k health. And then the rest you can either distribute into weight or melee damage, depending on your preference. I personally, with this build, would go with weight, because you're going to be gathering black pearls and a lot of meat from potential victims under the ocean. So the more weight, the better. Now, obviously, each level you level into the THERIZINOSAURUS grants him the ability of one harvesting level. Now, you can see here, we're able to give this guy a lot of harvesting levels because of this. For this particular purpose, you will be putting them all into power harvesting, because power harvesting is where you'll be getting all the extra meat as well as the extra black pearls. Now, you can see here, this is going to take a bit of time, so I'll bring you guys back when this is ready, but this essentially turns your THERIZINOSAURUS into a submarine for yourself. You'll have plenty of stamina, plenty of oxygen, and the means of gathering anything and everything he wants. However, do take into note that you might want to bring some stimulants along with you, or some stimberries, just to get the THERIZINOSAURUS's stamina back up onto par with where you will need it for. However, do take into mind that the THERIZINOSAURUS won't gain any extra melee damage from this build, so if you are after something that will just decimate anything in the water, then the first build is something you will want to go with. However, this build is mainly built for stamina use as well as being underwater with the oxygen. But you can see there we get plenty of meat and hide and everything from attacking these guys underwater. Now, we'll showcase to you with the Sharky how much more we'll actually efficiently gather than the other THERIZINOSAURUS. Let's come over here and finish this guy up. Now, if you remember correctly, from a single Megalodon, we actually got 90 fish meat, I believe. So let's take a look-see and see how much this Megalodon grants us with the extra power harvesting levels. Now, do take into mind that you can level up the previous Therizino in the power harvesting levels as well, but here we go. So you saw that 81 raw fish meat. Now, this is because we didn't actually power up this guy in melee damage. This guy is mainly built for going down to the deep depths, surviving with oxygen and stamina, and just tearing anything and everything apart. Now, there's only 10 little differences between this Therizinosaurus and the previous Therizinosaurus, because, well, you know, there was only 10 fish meat in between this one and the previous one. So there's not that much of a difference. So you can still certainly use this guy to go deep sea diving and swim out for your black pearls and anything else you want to harvest. Chitin as well as hide and the fish meat is a great way. But you can see here, this guy still, he's got plenty of oxygen and plenty of stamina for him. He can stay under here for a very, very long time. And if you're ever unsure, just bring an extra couple of stimulants with you, just to bring this guy's stamina back up on par. You can see there he does have a bit of health going for himself as well. If you want, you can easily substitute out the extra points in health for the extra points in melee damage, making him gather extra meat and black pearls. So the Therizinosaurus is definitely one of the best creatures you can, if not the best creature you can take underwater for gathering raw prime fish meat and raw fish meat. As well as the black pearls. He isn't one of the best, but he is definitely one of the better creatures that you can use. Now, this is mainly because his attacks technically count as 2. With his claw attack, you can see 1 attack, 2 attack, 1 attack, 2 attack. However, it also carries on with the damage. You just don't see the damage numbers popping up. So there is that. So we're going to move on to the final build for the Therizinosaurus. Now, finally, the last build that we will be showcasing to you guys is the Harvester build. Now, this guy is going to be built for collecting as many resources as you can possibly think of. So with this build, the main things you will be leveling up are entirely your weight and melee damage, because you want to be able to hold as much of the resource as you possibly can. So we're going to pump the Therizinosaurus up to at least 2,000 weight here. Let's see, there we go. Can we get it? There we go, you can see there 2,000 weight, and the rest you just want to dump into melee damage. This will just increase the amount of resources he gets and makes it easier for you. Now you can see here we're able to gather the fiber. This is actually 3 attacks, so if you run through 3 bushes of fiber, you'll actually gather 3 different sets of fiber, which is great. Now as well as that, you'll gather out crap tons of wood. Now, the only downside of the THERIZINOSAURUS is that he actually doesn't reduce the cost of the resources in his inventory, which can be a shame and is the main reason you will want to level up all the way you possibly can. However, the melee damage also makes it so that you can gather more of the resources as well. Now, with his actual harvesting levels, this is entirely up to you guys. You can make him so he gathers more wood, and thatch and meat and hide and all that. Sorry, meat actually. Or you can use delicate harvesting, which will make it easier to gather organic polymer, your hide, your chitin, your berries, your fiber, everything like that. So it's entirely up to you where you want to put these points into. Personally, I would go with a 50-50 split and just dump the points half into delicate, half into power harvesting. Because this will be your main harvesting dino, your main harvesting THERIZINOSAURUS, I should say, sorry. So you will want to be able to put these points into everything and anything. Which, you know, you can see there we're able to gather thatch and wood rather easily, obviously as you would expect. And the fiber as well. You're still able to gather a lot of fiber and the berries as well. So, you know, this is the last build. There's not really much else to say about it. But you can see the amount of wood we are able to gather. The THERIZINOSAURUS is hands down one of the best wood gatherer in the game. You know, you do have the beaver as well, but the THERIZINOSAURUS can gather it a lot faster and a lot better, if I say so myself. The beaver just has the added benefit of reducing the amount of wood. Then you have the mammoth as well. The mammoth is probably the second best in my opinion, because the THERIZINOSAURUS is able to move faster than the mammoth and attack at the same time. You know, he just seems that little bit better. Obviously, in terms of quantity, the mammoth is the better, but in terms of just straight out gathering all the wood you possibly could need, the THERIZINOSAURUS is hands down the best one to do. So that's all there is really for this video, guys. There's not really much else to say about the THERIZINOSAURUS in terms of its builds. They're the main builds you will be using for the THERIZINOSAURUS. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Any other builds you guys would like to see, make sure to let me know down below in the comments. But other than that, I will see you in the next one.